Hi, my name is Thomas Smith.
I'm Sam Short.
I'm Allie Kashabi.
And I'm Holly Snyder.
And we are Safeguard. Detect, protect, converse, and select. We are a blog-styled aggregator website that brings together only the best and top-of-the-line concussion sports gear to ensure your safety. Did you know that 1 in 5 high school athletes will receive a concussion? And it's estimated that 1.6 to 3.8 million sports-related concussions occur every year in the United States. Families can be greatly affected by physical, financial, and emotional stressors because of an injury. And according to Cost Helper Health, depending on health insurance, it could cost $75 to $520 or more per physical therapy session. Because of our customer feedback and understanding our skill set and our resources, we decided to convert ourselves to the new Safeguard, a blog-styled aggregator website for concussion sports gear. We believe that no one should have to choose between a neurological health versus playing the sport that they love. Yes, there are blogs that have the ability to communicate over a certain product, and yes, there are products that have the ability to help with concussion sports gear, but we are the only ones that bring those two together. Here is our little demo of our website, our homepage. It's time to step up your game. And on the left-hand side, you can see a portion to get in contact with doctors, and on the right, you see a blog portion where parents and athletes and other people can converse and share stories, share ideas, share recommendations with each other. And of course, are all products where you click on a product that you might find interested, and you click on it, and it takes you directly to that product's website. As we are all student athletes, together receiving around 8 concussions, we understand how detrimental it can be to your health, to your stress levels, to your overall way of life. And we know that parents, doctors, whether you're a coach or anyone would receive so much benefit from Safeguard.
Alright, so we have 3 main customer segments. The first being parents of athletes. So parents of athletes, typically that cannot find the correct concussion sports gear for their kids. The second being concussion businesses. So when I mean about concussion businesses, I mean businesses that actually create concussion gear to help athletes stay protected from concussions. And also concussion treatment doctors. And this is kind of like a weird one because usually doctors struggle to find the correct patients for concussions and like other brain injuries because people just really don't know that there is help that you can get for this for treatment and recovery. So for our companies, the main market size of this that we found for our research section, there's 70 companies that are currently selling or going to sell concussion prevention sports gear. And so with the 7 companies, we use our price point of $3,500 and multiply it to get our SAM of $24,500. And then our first year market share revenue is $7,000, which is about 28.5% of the actual market. So for our market size for our doctors, we found there's 8,183 doctors that can actually help solve neurological damage like concussions or other brain injuries. And using our advertisement techniques, we believe that we can reach about half of those, so like around 4,000 people. And we multiply that by our price point of $1,500, which actually ended up being $6 million for our SAM. And our first year market share revenue is $15,000, which is about 0.25% of the actual market. So right now there are actually no other viable solutions except for us. And I stress that mainly because, come on, we're the only ones who's awesome. And what I mean by that, because we're kind of like a combination between Rydell, who helps sell and bring people towards correct concussion sports gear. We're also like a blog website like WordPress or Blogger that helps people like express their ideas or other complaints or other topics of interest. So onto our UVP. We kind of a CBA, it's kind of like what I'd like to call it, or ABC. Sounds better. So the main things are connections. So it's what I mean by that is like easy connections to doctors or other people who like struggle to actually find like the correct stuff. That's our blog, which helps people like and other people and doctors like parents talk about important stressors or like products or like complaints or like recommendations for products. And also we like give people the quickest access towards new products that just hit the market, old ones that have not been found yet, like the Rydell helmet or like the Halo. For other sports and stuff.
So for our marketing strategies, we are using Facebook and Instagram to target parents and parents of athletes. And with Instagram, we're using Instagram to reach out to athletes and student athletes.
So also, if for companies that are interested and like
how they want to find us. We're a direct channel because they can go directly to our website, and that's how they can be communicating us, whether if they're a doctor and they want a posting about them being a doctor, or if they're a company and they want to be listed on our product page. So one clear defined unit is a posting for a doctor, and they could include any information that they would like, where they practice, what they practice, and anything else. And we're charging them $1,500 annually to be posted as a doctor. And for the companies to be posted on our shop all page, we're charging them $3,500 annually. And while this may look like a lot, it's really not for the attraction that we're hoping to be getting to our site, and these will be very good investments for the doctors and the companies to be putting on our site. So after talking with Mick Salamini, we discovered that we have no COGS for our company because we spend so much money just marketing and driving people to our site. So this means we'll be getting all of our profits. Our first year sales were estimated to make almost $6,000, but we'll have a net loss of $2,000, and that's because our first year we're spending a lot of money marketing and just establishing a strong customer base, because we need to show the companies that we have people coming, parents and athletes coming to our site, that they're interested, so it would be worth their investment. But each year we're growing, and we plan to grow because each year we plan on shifting our marketing strategies. We'll still be using Facebook and Instagram. We'll be able to see which ads work the best, what our customer base reacts best with. So by year 5, we're doing a little over $500,000, and that would be, the $500,000 would be assuming at year 5 we reach all 7 concussion companies that we've found and getting 160 doctors on board. So for our MVP, we originally were Safeguard, the mouth-guarded app that would neurologically track and detect vibrations and force impacts needed to cause concussions. So to test it, we created an aggregator site that originally was just a shopping page that compared our products to a bunch of other products. And from this, we learned that people just weren't as interested in our product as we hoped. And after learning our startup costs, we realized it was just unrealistic within our time frame to establish something of that high technology. But since we already had the website up and running, we learned that there is no website. There's no way for people to really get help about concussions other than word of mouth or some home remedy. And let's be honest, home remedies don't really work that well. So what our new thing is, we've added a doctor's page and a blog page. So from our MVP results, we sent out an Instagram ad, and that Instagram ad was sent over to a little over 22,000 people. And 14,575 of those people actually took the time to view our ad. And then we had 124 people who, from our ad, viewed our website. And we did have a small bounce rate. So that means some of the people who went to our site either immediately left or just didn't connect all the way. So we had 83 active viewers. And from our active viewers, we were actually able to figure out a lot. Because on average, they'll view our 3 main pages, our home page, our shopping page, and our blog page. Our doctor's page is relatively new, so that's why we haven't had as much traction there as we wanted to. But they've almost everyone who went looked at all 3 sites, and their average time on our site is 2 to 3 minutes. And our blog postings right now are really short, just due to our time, what's been going on, that we haven't had lengthy blog posts, but this is enough time for them to look at some products and read it. And we've seen people express interest in products, such as our Halo 3 product and the Rydell IT helmet.
So we are offering 3.1% for $16,650. So with the $16,650, we would use it for legal, which would be $150, initial marketing for $10,000, our website, which would be $5,000, and liquidity cushion for $1,500. So our IRR would be 58.6%, and the money multiple would be 9.2%. And our exit strategy would be by the end of year 5 to sell it to another concussion company.
Yeah, we would sell it to a concussion company such as Rydell, that would be on our site at the time, or we would want to sell it to someone, a strategic buyer who's as passionate about concussions as we are and would love to solve the problem. So we aren't the only ones telling you guys how great of an investment this is. We have actually entered the Blue Ocean Pitch Competition, an international competition where we face against over 250 amazing teams with great businesses that are helping try to change the world too. And we won 3rd place for that. And although we won that competition with Safeguard, our previous business, the Mouth Guard, after speaking with them recently about our change, they still think it's a great idea and love the way that we're trying to help change the face of sports forever. And also, keep your eyes open for us because we might be featured in Quintessential Barrington this upcoming month about our winnings in the Blue Ocean competition. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. We are Safeguard, detect, to protect, converse, and select.
You know, a lot of your revenue is going to come from doctors. Did you talk to any doctors?
So no, we made this shift relatively recently, and we haven't talked to many doctors yet, but we feel that like it's very realistic for doctors to want to do this, since one of my neighbors is a neurosurgeon, but he also does some stuff with like concussions, and we just noticed that a lot of the time that these doctors are getting press is either through like one big save or through relations with high schools like Dr. Diorio.
Just out of curiosity, what happened to the mouthpiece?
So we learned that our startup costs were going to be extremely high. We wouldn't be making any revenue until year 4 or 5, and that's actually something we all really were sad to let go, because it's something we wanted to do so badly.
Yeah, very.
But looking realistically, it wasn't realistic at the time, and we would be interested in that in the future maybe.
You've got a lot of money allocated for marketing in the startup costs. What marketing are you going to do?
From here on out.
Pardon?
From here on out.
Yeah.
Continuing on our Instagram for connecting with different kids and student athletes, but then as well with parents on the Facebook pages.
I think you probably have to blast out how you're going to develop users a little bit more than those 2 tactics. Like the whole, I think, value to monetizing the site is going to be like-minded people that are interested in concussion, that are looking for providers and equipment. So let's put aside the 7 companies and the doctors for a moment and talk just about that channel of building users. And there's a bunch of ways to do that. Like, have you guys heard of search engine optimization and pay-per-click? And did you try any of those tactics?
Yeah, so our website, we've like tried to optimize it so when people look up like concussions and certain words that will pop up, and because we haven't gotten like an extreme amount of traction like yet, we're not like in the first page or so,
Yeah.
but we have it set up so like if the more traction we get, we'll hopefully be there.
So a bunch of your money needs to go towards making sure you're on that first page.
Yeah.
And when you're on the first page, there's 2 ways to be on the first page. One is that little green box that says ad, and there's 4 of them on every first page. You buy that. That's called pay-per-click. And the others that appear on the first page are free, and you earn that by having really rich content and developing relevancy. And there's kind of tricky ways to do that through search engine optimization, but it costs money. And I really think that that's going to be an important part of you guys building this out. So I would actually reevaluate your startup money and or how much money you're putting in, and allocate some of this towards search engine optimization. I would imagine that a parent, when their child gets a concussion and they want to find out something, what do?
Look it up.
They Google it, probably. And you got to be a go-to site for that. And then a comment about monetizing it, like as an investor, and I'm going to say something that probably sounds a little contrarian, like let's forget about revenue for a moment. Like what investors are going to say, but just for a moment. It's going to be hard. I just have a feeling you're going to spend a lot of time going to doctors and a lot of time going to these 7 equipment manufacturers with a value proposition that's really shallow until you have users. So, hey, we got nothing, we're going to do this. Would you pay $1,500 if? Would you pay $3,500 if? As opposed to, we've spent a year, we have this much traffic on our website. This is the types that, like the stats you have. If you had like 2 or 3 zeros behind those numbers, then a doctor would say, yep, I'm gonna pay for that. Only if it's within their zip code though, because the doctor doesn't care about 60010 if they're a doctor in Missouri, right? So, you're gonna have to figure out kind of where you have geographic density, and by the very nature, you probably won't. So, and the same thing with the equipment manufacturers, they're not going to pay you yet. And by the way, Facebook didn't monetize anything for years. You know, they just said, we're just building users, we're building a community, we'll figure out how to make money later. And that's kind of the two-sided business model, that's what you really have to do. And the problem is, it takes a lot of money. But, not to say that it's a problem that can't be solved, you just need probably more money to do that. And measure your success not in dollar signs on profitability, measure your success in hit users and traction of your users on your website. That's where we're gonna have to feel confident. So go back to your stats up there a little bit. There you go. Cool, you got 22, and I put above that 22,000 people that you connected with, that, of that, you sent the ad out to 22,000, right?
Yeah.
14,000 people viewed the ad. 124 people clicked through,
Yeah.
and then 83 engaged. Like that's the right statistics in your pages. You just have to get like, if you got 22,000,
zeros,
like,
yeah.
how do you get to 2 million?
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be, how'd you get that? By one ad?
Instagram ad, just
Yeah,
one.
one.
We actually only paid $90 and we were only expecting to get around 3,000, sending out to only 3,000. And then sometimes if you get enough traction in the first day, Instagram boosts it out excessively. So we got to get that.
How do you determine who to send it to?
We just put it on Instagram. Instagram does it for you, taking the phrases and words that you have in the caption. There's some sort of code that they have that they boost it to those specific people.
So it was
I would
one
imagine any parent of an athlete would be interested in this website.
Yeah, our ad mainly got sent out to, I think, high school and college boys.
We definitely do have a lot of parents though that engage as well.
Can you take and build like a microcosm of content, like say find the Barrington and the closest 8 high schools to Barrington, you know, all of their football, soccer, you know, concussion prone sports have like a Twitter handle and a website and a way to connect.
Yeah.
And maybe find out through those, you know, 8 or 10 athletic departments who their go-to neurologist is in that market if they have an incident. And almost build a base of doctors and obviously their equipment and everything, and kind of build that and get all of the traffic count and everything up, and then go back out and
Yeah,
coach.
Barrington's #1 doctor that they go to specifically for any neurological damage and like sports-related effects is Dr. DiOrio, so we have talked to him about this. But
Are you guys familiar, or have you spoken with anyone at the Neuro Balance Center in Barrington? They have a specific CTE initiative right now that they're pushing out, and it's right over on by Motorworks in that area, off of Grove Avenue. It's a new facility, I think, for the last 2 years, but that they just opened. But they specifically are aggregating experts in CTE, and they want to kind of position themselves as the Barrington area another expert in athletics. So that might be Joy Wagner is the executive director there, and she might be somebody for you guys to reach out to and just share the idea with, because they're interested in obviously local initiatives like this.
And I think they have something with the high school where the high schoolers drive like Parkinson's patients and things like that there. So
Yeah,
there may
for
be some,
transportation, yeah.
there
There's a
may
goal.
be some connections already there.
Yeah.
Can we even back up before users? Like we talked a little bit about how to get users engaged. What are they engaging in? So you have content, right? Tell us about how rich the content is, how you're sourcing it, and how you're compiling the content on the site.
The blogs part.
Yep, that might be one port.
So mainly our blogs recently have been very light, not deep at all, just because we've been trying to get like a lot out there, just so we have content up, but they haven't gotten as deep as we'd like, and just because of our recent shift to this new, we haven't had as much as we'd like to. but we're using really reputable sources such as the Brain Injury Research Institute. That's where some of our statistics came from in this presentation. And we kind of just say, there are 300,000 high school athletes that are getting a concussion each year. What can we do about this? And we talk about why we're great and how we've seen individual effects of it. Like Holly said, cumulatively, we've all gotten 8 concussions, and it's obviously something that's impacted us.
So I get the problem, for sure. And if I'm a parent and I want to learn more about what to do, like what a call to action, I want to be educated on your site. So I'm going there for some reason. It could be the doctors, like, hey, here's all the suppliers, and don't charge them anything. Just, you guys vet out, here's the people that provide in these zip codes, and one value add to your users is we have a list of providers.
Yeah.
And we have a list of cool equipment. And then we have a blog, but you have to have I would love to see a page or two on your presentation that would show how you're going to repurpose content, aggregate it, and make it rich. I get that you talk about doing that, but I don't see the specifics on how you're doing that.
Right, and I get the credible sources because there are a lot of them. Mayo Clinic, Children's, all of that. One component that you could perhaps think about is I'm just thinking of the conversations that are held on the sidelines. And while you've got credible sources, parent to parent, it amazes me how that parent-to-parent conversation, that those links would trump things from the Mayo Clinic, from Children's, and I think, why should I take this fellow mom's word over a trusted body physician? But I see it happen over and over and over again. So you might consider an opportunity for community interaction, parent to parent.
That's what we have, that's what we
like
want
to
it
do.
to be.
Because right now we haven't gotten that up, but that's one of our aspects to our blog. You could sign up to our blog and then you can post, and we've been on vetting the posts.
It's very, very
And
interactive
yeah,
between the
comments.
parents, between
Okay.
everyone else.
Okay,
Yeah,
great,
we'll
sorry,
be
I missed
posting
that.
yeah, this will be totally fine.
You
We'll
all
be
have had
posting the
concussions?
blogs.
Not all of us,
Like
but
cumulatively.
cumulatively.
I've had 4.
What do you do when you have a concussion?
That is really funny actually, because it really is true. You look up something online and you try and figure out what it is, and then what do? You go to your friends, you say, hey, Barbara, I don't know, what happened?
You
Your
go to
daughter
the
had a
doctor?
concussion, what happened to your daughter?
Go to the
And then-
doctor?
I did, yes. So I had over 5 doctors actually, and a functional neurologist, and I had to reestablish my vestibular system and my cognitive skills over a very long period of time.
Those are serious.
And
Yes.
some of us, I play soccer and Tommy plays football, and we don't really know if we've
Have
ever.
a sister played soccer, Alex?
No. But we honestly don't know if we've ever had concussions, and I know personally I've been guilty where I take a head ball or someone hits me in the head and I'm like, no, I'm fine, I can keep playing, and I feel weird the next couple of days and I may have gotten a concussion and didn't want to admit it or realize it, and after learning about how detrimental to your health they are, it's something I notice now and I see all the time, and it's something that needs to be stopped because they're every sport, my brother plays lacrosse, you see kids running, 8-year-olds knocking heads. And well, it's fun. I'm so happy that they're playing these sports. It's just something really scary to be seeing.
When you get to monetizing this down the road, the $3,500 that you're charging the 7 different providers per month, the way that I think this works in the digital advertising world is they will pay you on a cost per 1,000 impressions.
Yeah.
So the more users you have, the more you can charge them, and the less users you have, the less you can charge them. One flaw in the way that you outlined your pricing is you said $3,500 is going to be what they pay you in year 1 and in year 5. Well, that's going to be very different because your users are going to be much smaller in year 1 and your users are going to be much larger in year 5, and they should be willing to pay you more. So everything is a proportionate about the number of impressions that you have on a website, and these ads and banner ads will pay for that. The doctors, I don't know if they're sophisticated enough to buy a cost per impression, but that should work for them as well. And it's not quite the same because a doctor doesn't care about your number of users outside of their region. They only care about the users within their serviceable market. So that might, you're gonna probably have to experiment with that, but that's just for credibility when you're talking to investors. I really do believe that you should punt on the economics of it and say, here's how we're gonna use your money to build a user base.
How many Instagram ads did you run? One?
Oh, yeah, just one.
And it was one shot, $90? It's pretty good.
Extrapolate that. If that was for 1 week?
It was for 15 days.
All right, so let's pretend you can do that 26 times. 26 times 90 is what, $2,200 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so for $2,200, and you can times those by hopefully 26 times,
Yeah.
22,000. That could be, like, if you're gonna present it to investors, extrapolate the data of what it looks like annually.
Yeah.
Now, you're gonna have to rotate your ads, and you're gonna have to change up, you know.
We do think that overall, though, we were pretty successful considering we don't actually have anything to offer them as of right now, and yet so many people were still interested.
Yeah. And by the way, when you just go out and buy that type of traffic to your website, it's a little bit of a snowball effect. When people are hitting your website organically, it pushes you up on the search engine optimization.
Exactly, that's how.
So it's, now some people do that a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, we, through Google Analytics, we were able to find out that actually someone looked up like concussion, sports gear, and they put in like a bunch of stuff that was like directly related to us, so they were able to find us through the search engine. I mean, obviously, like, we look it up and we don't find it, so they must have had like a lot of our keywords, but it was something that we were all really proud of.
Yeah.
All right, that's the last one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We have to ask just kind of where you guys are as a team in terms of taking this idea, moving it forward. You know, if we were to invest in you, are you all in it next year? Are some of you in it? Are you just saying this is an application?
Our entire team, including the person who is absent, do not want to take this cost next year or get funded for it.
Yeah, we were like, some of us are interested in taking it next year, just like,
Not with this
not with this
product.
so.
Okay, so you're interested in the class, but it might be on a different team.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we've appreciated all the learning we've got, and especially
Yeah.
doing a business that's so technologically advanced and so risky.
It takes
We've
so
learned,
much out of
like,
this class because it's not even about what you learn as a business, it's also communication skills and how you meet each other, how our trust works through our team and how we talk to you guys. So yeah.
Well, it's good to hear. And really good on the pivot, because when you get out into the work world, you will find one thing. You always have to change. You think you're right, and then you find out you gotta move it a little bit in one way or another. So, kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again. Yeah, everything's really good.
Really strong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Good work.
Thank
Good
you
work.
so much.
Money.